Hi. Comment down below and like this video if you enjoy it, because today we're going to talk about stuff that is awesome, and you won't be able to look away. No, there you go. That'll be fine.
Okay, so I think you should introduce yourself because you have a very good introduction on your YouTube videos.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome into the Roxy Report. Okay, I'm not the Roxy Report. Well, I am. In theory, I am, but not on this channel. I'm Roxy. I have a transgender transition YouTube channel, which mostly ends up just being video games and stupidity. So that's who I am. So yeah, I'm on YouTube. Go check me out. Go subscribe. You know, free promo and all that.
Oh jeez.
I'll put a link in chat.
You're such a freeloader. So Roxy and I have been talking for quite a bit this week. I mean,
yeah, about 10 hours in total.
Oh geez, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
We basically I've known of Catherine's channel for a very long time, and I've always been a big fan. And I see that I am blowing smoke up my butt right now. Basically, I'm just really happy that we ended up starting to talk, because we're quite like-minded when it comes to ideas and everything else. So we can hopefully kind of put our ideas together and make something awesome. So.
Oh look, we got a thumbs down already. Woo!
Oh, that's my intro. Sorry.
See, the second you start talking, we got a thumbs down. So the purpose of this video is to debunk a gentleman under the name Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. Unfeeling is a good word. Would you say? Emotionless.
Okay, because I know this guy has a Wikipedia article. So let's just give you an idea of just an idea of who he is. So yeah. Benjamin Aaron Shapiro, born January 15th, 1984, is an American conservative political commentator, nationally syndicated columnist, author, radio show host, and attorney. And he's worked for, well, he has an impressive resume. He's worked for, let's see, Breitbart.com, which is shit. Well, if you've ever been to Breitbart, the problem with Breitbart is everything they publish is opinionated, but they state it as fact. And they're anti-liberal, anti-LGBT, anti-anything that goes against religious values. That's essentially what they're all about. Let's see. And now the newest thing that I think he's into right now is he works for the Daily Wire, is his current job.
Isn't that a kind of hip thing, the Daily Wire? I'm pretty sure I've heard of that before.
It's a politically conservative American news and opinion website founded in 2015 by Ben Shapiro.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was at all. Sorry.
So he's the editor-in-chief, but he's the founder of it. So
wow.
Yes.
Oh, he's a bit of himself. Got his own website. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I've got is
a news piece. Because I like how they say they're like American news and opinion. It's actually no. It's actually just opinion stated as news. So what we have here is we actually have, well, thing is, I didn't really know much about Ben Shapiro up until last night when I was randomly watching some YouTube videos, and I came across a video titled Ben Shapiro, Why It's Not Rude to Call a Transgender by Their Actual Gender. And so I played this for Roxy. And what was your initial impression?
Basically, he just came over as a bit kind of it was like he was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It was very kind of he just came over as childish, and that makes,
I would say arrogant.
Yeah, arrogant. Yeah. yeah, kind of just a bit kind of like your issues don't bother me, and that was a bit kind of insensitive, because I'm guessing the person that was asking the question was trying to get a kind of adult response from him, and unfortunately he wasn't going to do that. But what was this place he was doing the interview at? What was this?
So he was at the George Washington University doing a kind of a panel / press conference / I mean, it's kind of like when you're in high school and you have like a motivational speaker come to talk about why you shouldn't do drugs. That seemed to be the kind of venue that this was. And so he had kind of a speech thing, kind of like a rant, went on a few topics, and then he invited the audience for some questioning. And so one of the questions, and we could start it off, we could play it, and then we'll like commentate after the fact. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my audio input so you guys can hear it and enjoy.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming out today. As a conservative, I completely agree with your view of microaggressions. However, I have to ask, a lot of the LGBT people in the community will say, referring to a transgender female as a male is not not decent. Right. And so, how is there a line, do you think, between these microaggressions and maybe just like, or being rude or being respected? But does that line, is there a line, and if so, where is it?
The line is truth, meaning that if you're saying something true and you're not being overtly rude just for the sake of being rude, if you're saying a truth because that's the truth doesn't mean, as one of my mentors, Andrew Breitbart, used to say, the truth doesn't mean it's just the truth. So I'm not going to shy away from the truth as I see it. And does that mean that we should bully transgender people? God forbid. I mean, one of the whole reasons why I'm somewhat passionate on this topic is really twofold. Number one, I think that there are valuable distinctions between men and women that can't be ripped away with a shot or with a surgery. And number two, I think that it's deeply, it does a horrible disservice to transgender people or any people who are mentally ill. And I'm sorry, but if you have a 40%, if you have a 40% suicide rate in your community, that is comorbidity with depression and obvious symptomology of mental illness, obviously. And when transgender surgery does nothing to cure that, the suicide rate before and after transgender surgery is exactly the same, the cruelest thing that we can do is say, no, we're going to pretend along with you that this fixed your problem, when it absolutely did not fix your problem, and we're not going to look for any further solutions. I take mental illness deeply seriously. My grandfather was institutionalized because he had schizophrenia back in the 1960s. And when my grandfather it would have been a deep disservice, a grave disservice to my father and his siblings and my grandmother and him, if when he was institutionalized, instead of doing that, we had said, Nate, you know what, you're right, the radio is in fact talking to you. Right? That would have been a deep disservice. They put him in a mental institution, he took lithium, and then he was better. Well, the way we treat the mentally ill in this country is horrendous. And engaging in their delusion along with them does them no service. It does them a tremendous disservice. It's harmful to them. It's harmful to kids who are confused. It's harmful to society to pretend that gender is completely malleable.
Woo! Yay!
Yeah, like that actually deserved an applause, but
Okay, first point. Can I just this just oh my god. Okay, firstly, he throws out their mentor. Kind of like this is kind of like his look at me, I had a mentor. That he's trying to upper class everyone immediately before anyone else can speak. Or anyone basically can have any thought, which I think is a bit wrong. He's basically being like, look at me, I have a mentor, that must mean I'm right. And what do you think about that? That's basically the impression I got from it. Sorry.
well, because the mentor was at Breitbart, so yeah. So the point is with Breitbart, I mean, I wouldn't take anything they say to be truth. I would just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I don't. Basically, the main point of his argument was that it was a mental issue, and
which he didn't even offer any sort of, other than a 40% suicide rate, that automatically implies that or automatically proves that it's a mental illness. But he is so off the mark, and I think there's a perspective that he's trying to offer that really doesn't make any sense. Look, as a trans person, I know I was born with a male anatomy. I know that. I know that a doctor said to my parents, look, it's a boy. I understand that. I know that. I'm not delusional. I'm not saying that that never happened. He's making it sound like every transgender person says, no, my body is a girl body. But no one is saying that. But what we're trying to state is that your brain and your body can differ. It is a proven fact. It's been proven through decades of studies. And as our technology progresses, we're able to better understand it more and more and more. We know for a fact that your gender is part of your brain, that your brain can be wired to think one way or another, can think in a more feminine manner or can think in a more masculine manner. We gender everything. That's our society. So what he just doesn't understand is that if you have a boy who says, wait a second, I relate better to a girl, so allow me to live my life as a girl, he thinks that act in itself is promoting a mental illness. But that is not true, because that person is not psychotic. That person doesn't say, oh, I was born with a uterus even though I wasn't, or says things like, I can see imaginary people. The idea of saying that I feel more close to a female than a male does not automatically mean you have a mental illness, because I know the reality of the situation. I understand it. I understand I was born with a body that doesn't match my brain. I understand that. And I understand that there are certain treatments that I can take that can either help me or hurt me. And everybody's different. Not every trans person has to go under surgery. Not every trans person has to go on hormones. Not every trans person transitions. That's just, it's a variety. But he's going on and making it sound like just because there's a high suicide rate, that means that entire community has a mental illness. But here's why the American Psychiatric Association doesn't believe it's a mental illness. They found that there is a direct correlation between suicide and society. That your likelihood of committing suicide or attempting suicide or feeling suicidal, there's a direct correlation between the way you are treated in society and your feelings. So if you grow up with two parents that, if you said, hey, I want to wear a dress to my prom, and your parents say, fuck you, no, you're a guy, you're going to wear a tuxedo, you're more likely to be upset with that situation if you are truly trans. If you have parents that say, okay, yeah, no problem, we'll go and get the dress, you look beautiful, stating like that, encouraging it, has proven to reduce suicidal thoughts. Discouraging it has proven to increase suicidal thoughts. And throughout his rant, he goes on and says about medications like lithium. Over the past, I would say, 100 years, because the first person that really started researching this phenomenon of transgender is Harry Benjamin. That is why we have the Harry Benjamin Standards of Care, which was the first version of transgender care. It later transitioned into WPATH. And WPATH is the world, I forget what the whole abbreviation stands for, but WPATH is kind of like a collection of different countries and different professionals that set up a standard of care where in order for you to be diagnosed with gender dysphoria, or back in the day it used to be called gender identity disorder, you have to meet a very specific criteria. So it's not like, you could just wake up one day and say, fuck, I want to be a girl. Now I'm trans. It doesn't work that way. And so with the suicide number, since it is heavily influenced with society's acceptance, because if society is more accepting, we will see that number decrease. But if you have people like Ben Shapiro promoting the idea that you should intentionally misgender a transgender person, you're only going to continue. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy here. He's telling us that there's a high number of suicide, right? And so if he's telling people to not treat them with respect and treat them the way they want to be treated, well, his method is only going to increase that suicide rate because medications don't work. It's been tested. It's been tried. It doesn't work. Conversion therapy doesn't work. It's been tested. It's been tried. The only thing that works is by allowing somebody to go through the medical transition. It's the only thing that has a successful rate. The success rate of transition is in the 90s%. That's better than any other medication you could try. I mean, hell, asthma medication doesn't have that success rate for asthma. You know? So it's just one of those things where Ben Shapiro comes off as a person who I would consider him a pompous prick, but he's one of those very well-spoken people. There's no doubt about it. He is very well-spoken. But the context of what he says is pure lunacy.
Yeah, he's what we call a twat here in the UK. I don't. Whenever I have a rant or anything, I don't like to just kind of put the person down that I'm talking about because I don't want to stoop to their level. But in this instance, he hasn't done his research. I mean, the fact that he mentioned, as you said, about the suicide rate, and apparently that it stays the same, as you said, after transition, that isn't right. But one of the people in the comment section I just saw, Russ, he basically says, can you argue the fact that suicide is still a problem after transition? And fair enough, it could be. There is a lot of there could be an issue in transition, or there could be an issue after surgery, which is understandable. And not to say that the SRS always completely fixes the issue, because that's obviously not always the case. And in that instance, I mean, there is the idea that people are damaged by this experience, you know, and it's a hard one to go through. And I suppose that can still stick with people, and that's unfortunate.
Well, the study he's referring to,
yeah,
is a 2011 study in Sweden, and he's citing somebody known as Dr. Paul McHugh. Now, Dr. Paul McHugh is a former Johns Hopkins chief psychiatrist, and he's like hardcore anti-LGBT, but he's also like deep Christian. He's a Catholic, a Roman Catholic, I believe. And so there is I would say, a conflict of interest right there. But besides that point, he is constantly referring to a study that took 30 years, followed 324 people who had sex reassignment surgery. The study revealed that beginning after 10 years after having the surgery, the transgender people began to experience increasingly mental difficulties. Their suicide mortality rose 20-fold above the comparable non-transgender population. So that's the statement that was made by Dr. Paul McHugh.
Yeah.
But if you actually fact check it, which is what our boy Ben Shapiro didn't do.
let me guess. Is it bollocks?
It's bollocks. So let me get to the part where they really dive into it here, because this is the thing that, you know, okay. Let me get to the part here. People use your study to support Spears' anti-trans fact claims to be not understood by your study findings. 2 chronological groups. Let's see.
So in terms of kind of quickly, I'll just mention when you're looking at that. Basically, I never want to be too biased when we're doing rants or anything else, because everyone has their own opinion, obviously, and when you're looking at something like this, especially, it's damaging because we struggle a lot with all the transition stuff that we go through, and kind of doing these YouTube videos and doing other stuff is our way of kind of expressing ourselves, I suppose. And when you have someone like this who's basically just out of their way to put you down, like this Ben Shapiro, it's an issue, and we're going to talk about it because it's kind of like we need to get the actual facts out there, and that's what we're trying to do with this. So, did you find the actual facts there, or?
Yeah, I'm still reading through because there's a lot of breakdowns to this.
Oh, is it like a big doctor? Oh God, too many words.
It's literally like done in a the fact check is done in a interview-like format.
Can you control F it?
Let's see.
So I'm gonna look at chat. I'm just gonna shout people out that are in the chat right now. Well, we don't have chat right now, but we do have comments. So if you want to comment, you can comment down below. Gavin says, "Hello, Catherine and Roxy. Hi." I actually responded with "Hey," so that's cool. Cillian says, "Wow, you really don't have a clue. Please do a video about No Man's Sky." Are you going to do a video about No Man's Sky?
Am I?
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Well, he really wants you to. So I think the best bet you've got is to go to my channel, because I'm going to be doing one. But that's really all I can say, to be honest. It's a good game though, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. I have tried swaying Catherine in that direction, but
okay. To be clear, no, the study does not show that medical transition results in suicide or suicidal idealization. The study explicitly states that such is not the case, and those using this study to make that claim are using a fallacious logic. No, the study does not prove that trans women are rapists or likely to be rapists. The male pattern of criminality, I guess that's a weird word, found in 1973 to 1988 cohort group was not euphemism for rape. Let's see. They really don't do a good job explaining it.
No, that's one of yeah. It's a pretty big thing that keeps cropping up, is this kind of the fact that apparently all transgendered people are sexual predators, which is one of the biggest things for the transgendered bathroom thing. All the Republicans go that we're the biggest, we're a big threat to your daughter, and we're a threat to your niece or whatever. I don't bloody know. But that's an issue, because that's painting us with a brush that we are not. If you look up crimes committed by transgendered people, there's not that many, and it's basically trying to make us look as bad as possible to the media. So would you agree with that? I think
I'm sorry, I'm like
you're
really
still looking through the interview.
I'm digging through a few here because they're like, oh, fact check, and then they don't actually say anything. So it's like, okay.
It's okay. I can fluff her. It's fine. Right. So in the chat, we have TMI questions, which we can throw around every now and again.
Ha! Here we go.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
You found it.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay. I found the smoking gun in the flaw here. Okay. The reason why this study is flawed is because the comparison they're making is they're not making a comparison of pre-transition transgender people versus post-transition transgender people. They're not basing that at all. They're comparing transgender person versus non-transgender person. So they're completely ignoring facts such as let's say they're ignoring societal facts. They're ignoring all the other pieces to it. So basically all they did was track 324 sex reassigned people and just compared it to a non-trans person.
Oh God.
Yes,
Wow.
it was a flawed thing.
Yeah. If you see in the comments, someone actually says, J Skull Sink says, the study wasn't even done on actual transgender people. It was done on normal people. Yes, the SRS was done on normal people who didn't want it.
Oh, really?
Scary.
I mean, if that's the case, that would actually like scare the shit out of me.
Horrifying. That's gonna give me nightmares. Thank you.
Okay, so they said, however, it is also possible some viewers may have been left with the impression that the study showed sex reassignment surgery causes a higher risk of suicide later in life. That is not what the Swedish study showed. In fact, the researchers wrote that things might have been even worse without sex reassignment.
Yeah. It makes sense, definitely.
They're just saying that in general, a transgender person is going to be more likely to have suicidal thoughts and attempt suicide versus a non-trans person, which is a real fact because being trans sucks. That is like a real like truth to it. But everything I've read, and I mean I've studied quite a bit like about 2 years ago before I came out and started transition, that people who have transitioned are more likely to lose suicidal thoughts as long as they have a supportive system. So if they have friends and family that accept them as who they are. It's like, for example, my brother referred to me as his sister today. I mean, this is something I didn't expect he would ever come around and do 2 years ago. You know, it would drive me up a wall when he would call me bro or if he would call me my old name. But now that he refers to me as his sis, and Catherine and stuff, it puts a smile on my face. Like I was really suicidal prior to taking a trip to New Jersey to visit my parents. Because up until that point, they didn't really accept me. They didn't really talk to me much. And when I went there, they called me Catherine. They called me Missy or she and her pronouns, and all it did was just erase all of my feelings of wanting to harm myself.
And it's important. I mean, that it's not a smaller thing, but in terms of kind of it's that acceptance, and it's that kind of it's getting what we finally have always wanted. And in terms of the surgery, that's of course a major thing. That's the ultimate kind of like goal. I suppose it's the kind of final piece of the puzzle.
I mean, for me, I mean, because obviously I've never had the surgery yet. It is something that I do kind of want, but there, as I was telling you in the car, there's more to it. Like, I know that current science will never give me a fully working uterus. Will never give me the ability to give birth to a child right now. That's just the way our science currently is at. I understand that. But I do believe that the surgery would be useful for me because I don't like seeing, when I look in a mirror, I don't like seeing a certain part of me that just doesn't match. So
and that's basically what we have to deal with up until whenever that is fixed. You know, that's a big reason for people taking their own lives, and the little things can help us so much. Is the stuff where people accept us and just go, hey, you're whoever you want to be, and don't judge. And I don't know why there's got to be such a kind of a battle going on, basically kind of making us out to be bad guys when we haven't done anything. We're just trying to live our life and be happy. And
Well,
yeah.
Oh, so this is specifically what the American Psychological Association. Oh, yeah, excuse me for burping there. The American Psychological Association states a psychological state is considered a mental disorder only if it causes significant distress or disability. Many transgender people do not experience their gender as distressing or disabling, which implies that identifying as transgender does not constitute a mental disorder. For these individuals, the significant problem is finding affordable resources. SRS costs like $30,000 to $50,000, such as counseling, hormone therapy, medical procedures, and the social support necessary to freely express their gender identity and minimize discrimination. Many other obstacles may lead to distress, including a lack of acceptance within society, direct or indirect experiences with discrimination or assault. These experiences may lead many transgender people to suffer with anxiety, depression, or related disorders at higher rates than non-transgender persons. But in the past month, let's see, Transgender World Health, there was a study that was completed. Let me just get the news article, because there was a study, I believe it was in Germany.
But I
Could be like, let's see. So transgender identity is not a mental health disorder, study finds. And this was published July 26, 2016. So it was last month.
Wow.
In the journal, The Lancet Psychiatry? Whatever. There's too many sighs.
Psyduck.
Psyduck. Okay. So here we go. The researchers investigated whether the distress and dysfunction associated with transgender identity was the result of social rejection and stigmatization or an inherent part of being transgender. Experiencing distress and dysfunction is often considered a defining feature of having a mental health disorder, according to the study. But other factors can cause these feelings as well, including experiencing rejection or stigmatization. Jesus Christ. The researchers interviewed 250 transgender people in Mexico City. The people in the study reported at what age they first became aware of having a transgender identity. Well, I don't think people identify as being I don't think people have a transgender identity. I think they identify as something other than the sex they were assigned at birth, which in itself is trans. Like, I don't identify myself as a trans woman. I identify myself as a woman. Regardless of the circumstances. Let's see. As well as their experiences of psychological distress, social rejection, difficulty functioning in their daily life, and violence, according to the study. So let me just say, as a transgender person, I do not struggle with living day to day as a human being. For example, I know how to take care of myself. You know, I know how to feed myself. I know how to find a job. I know how to find an apartment. I know how to drive. I know how to do things for me.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, I'm not psychologically, you know, distressed or anything. Yes, I went through some pretty dark times when my family was not accepting. When my family was saying, no, you are this, I'm going to tell you it's this way if you like it or not. Because my dad actually had the same exact perspective as Ben. My dad did at first. He kept going on and on and on about my body parts and how my body parts define who I am and not my perception of life. And I believe that what defines who you are is you. What makes you you? I think it's your soul. It's your personality. It's your perspective of things. It's how you interact with the world is who you are, not what you look like. You know? And I think I just think that people need to look at it in that perspective. Your body parts should not define who you are.
Yeah, everyone is their own individual person, and it's the Jay Skull Sink says you should talk about the fact that people who debate about transgenders are completely egotistical. The fact that people literally say that psychologists are wrong and go on to say it was a mental disorder is completely retarded.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Because I mean,
And
what right do they have to tell us what we are? You know, like, that's my opinion on it. I know what I am in my brain. Okay.
Well, I think you were getting to something. Let's elaborate on it a bit. If you go into any news article that talks about transgender and you look at the comments, which is a bad thing to do, I'm guilty of doing that. You're bound to see people who believe that are quick to say, oh, well, the American Psychological Association is a bunch of liberal people, so you can't believe everything they say. Or this organization is bought out by this organization. Like, there are people that believe that there's this greater deal of corruption behind what defines what is being what.
Hmm.
I know it sounds crazy.
It's the Illuminati. Is all the
Yes, there are people that truly believe that. There are people out there that believe that the trans movement is all a puzzle piece by the Illuminati. And what's funny is who they think the Illuminati is. Okay, look, the history of the Illuminati, they think it has something to do with the Freemasons, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was part of the Freemasons. And I'm telling you, there's no fucking Illuminati in the Free fucking Masons. And I'm like, I think the 5th generation that was part of the Masons.
But an Illuminatus would say that, wouldn't they? Oh.
My grandfather was the 3rd degree Master Mason. And on the women's side of things, they were all part of the Eastern Star. So, yeah.
As someone from the UK, I have absolutely no idea what this is. What is a Freemason?
Oh, geez, I really don't want to go into it.
That's fine.
There's a gun held to my head. If I talk even more, the Illuminati are going to come after me.
I'll look it up on Google. Hang on. Freemasons. Okay. Yes. Okay. Siri, what is a Freemason?
Tell me. The Siri is like, I am not permitted to discuss this.
Freemasons, or Masonry, consists of a fraternal organization that traces their origins to the local fraternities of the stonemasons, which from end of the 14th century regulated the qualifications of stonemasons and their interaction with the authorities and clients. Jesus Christ, this is boring. Okay, so it's on Wikipedia.
Yes, yeah. But the Masons, their logo, which is the G with the ruler and the, I forget what the fuck that thing is. The
I know. A stylo, no. A thing.
It allows you to draw perfect circles. Okay, that's all I know.
Yeah, perfect circle drawer. Hang on, drawer. Just do that. No. Circular, no. Tool. There it is. What is it? What? There's a picture of it. 8 ways to draw a circle. WikiHow. Oh my god. There's a tutorial? Of course there is. Hang on. This is tracing around a CD. No. Using a compass. It's a compass. That one casual fan says, hi. Hello. Oh. Yeah, hello.
I love how this one person sends us a link to that. How if you're left-handed, you're more likely to be trans, which is bullshit because I'm right-handed.
Hang on, no, I've got to disagree with you. I'm left-handed. Sorry.
You are.
Yeah, I am. So,
Erica, are you left-handed? Okay, see, so the article's bullshit.
Damn.
And where the fuck were you, Erica, when I was having an asthma attack, you bitch? I do want to die. That's all part of why Ben Shapiro is correct. Oh, geez. The worst part is after the asthma attack, I start like coughing up little blobs of mucus. Because when you have an asthma attack, your airways start to swell, and then they start producing mucus, which is why they get really, So
isn't that a good thing to get out of your body, though?
Yeah, no. Now it's like coming up, but that's always what happens afterwards. After I use my inhaler. Yeah. So stop trying to make me laugh, you bitch.
Jay Donahue says, this might make you laugh. Jay Donahue says, hey, Catherine, is there a live show tonight? And no, this is pre-recorded. So, yes, right, moving on.
Too, you're like, is there a live show tonight?
Oh my, I don't sound like that.
We have a smashing show for you.
I do not say smashing, and also I wouldn't say it like that. I go, that's smashing. Oh, that's brilliant. I don't sound like Austin Powers, okay? I don't sound like...
You remind me a bit of, oh shit, Tim Curry.
Tim Curry? Well, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
that's
you can
actually
totally say what he says.
What? Just do Rocky Horror Show?
Yes.
That, right?
Yeah. You should just start doing some...
Move a little to the left, move a bit to the right, over there. That's it. I don't know the rest of the words. Sorry. I miss these. I miss doing live shows. I really enjoy it, and I hope everyone out there that's listening enjoyed it. And I'm hoping the 2 dislikers are also enjoying it.
There's more. I mean, well, someone wrote "fucking trannies."
Well, where's this?
Well, this is why I told you I have a auto filter that automatically blocks any comment with the word tranny in it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, you can set those up in YouTube. I did it because I knew that anytime someone referenced the word tranny, it was in a negative context. It was used as a like very hateful intonation.
Derogatory. Yeah,
it was used for derogatory purposes. So that's why I put an auto filter. I have to create a few more filters because there's a lot that get through of people that just say fucked up stuff. Because I believe in free speech, but I do believe that people are entitled to their informed opinion, meaning that you need to fully understand the topic that you have an opinion towards. So like Mr. Ben Shapiro here, because he doesn't truly understand the topic that he's talking about, because he doesn't understand the full scope of things. If you were to ask him, hey, what was the name of the first organization that governed transgender healthcare, he wouldn't be able to just pull it out of his ass.
No.
He wouldn't. He doesn't truly understand the history of it. And I think history is a large part of having an opinion on things. I also think scientific evidence is a large part of having an opinion on things. And I find that a lot of times people who were initially against the idea of transgender people, after doing the research, and when I say research, not only looking at Paul McHugh, they find that their information was just dead wrong in the first place. They find that, my opinion was based off of assumptions and based off of religion and not based off of any actual fact.
Yep.
So as long as people like Ben Shapiro are speaking out against trans people, we're going to have more and more transgender suicides. I mean, think about Pat McCrory in North Carolina with the HB2 bill.
Of course, yeah.
What were your thoughts on that when that first came out? What were your thoughts?
Oh, God. I don't think I ever did a video actually just talking about that. Because we're so different. Coming soon. No, basically, it's just it's come here now. There's people protesting about it here now. Thanks, America. Great. Just bring all your shit over here. You came from our place first. Stay out. If you don't want to be here, don't come here. Oh my God. But no, the stupid HB2 thing. Okay, look. If you identify as female, you should be able to use the female bathroom. If you identify as male, you should be able to use the male bathroom. It's not for you to say what genitalia I may or may not have, and no, you're not touching it. Thank you. That's all I have to say about the HB2 bill. It's complete hypocrisy bullcrap made by old people who just don't understand. Mic drop.